You know, deep inside all of us, there's a silent war being fought every single second. It's a battle over shape. And when that battle is lost, well, it leads to some of the most terrifying diseases known to science. This is the story of a killer that baffled researchers for decades, mostly because it isn't a virus or a bacteria, but something much, much stranger.
Take a look at this. It's a stained section of a human brain. And those yellowish-white spaces you're seeing, those are actually holes. The brain tissue is literally becoming sponge-like. It's a condition called spongiform encephalopathy. It is a process that just systematically dismantles the mind, and it is always fatal.
So, for years, this was the central mystery. Scientists were desperately searching for a culprit they could recognize, a virus, a bacteria, some kind of microbe. But they found nothing, absolutely no genetic material, no signs of a traditional infection. So, if it isn't alive in any way we understand, what on earth could be causing this level of devastation?
To figure out the answer, we first have to really understand the disease itself. Investigators were up against a set of symptoms that were, frankly, as frightening as they were mysterious.
The effects are just catastrophic. Severe dementia, a complete loss of physical coordination, and, inevitably, death. You've probably heard of its different forms, right? Mad cow disease in cattle, scrapie in sheep, and in humans, the rare but absolutely devastating Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease. The common thread is this relentless, incurable decay of the brain.
The investigation into this mystery, well, it led to a conclusion so radical that it was initially just dismissed as heresy. The killer wasn't some invading organism. The killer was already inside us.
I mean, this idea was just shocking to the scientific community. Think about it. Every single pathogen ever identified, from the common cold to the plague, had one thing in common: genetic material, like DNA or RNA. So the concept of an infectious agent made of pure protein with no genetic code at all, it was completely revolutionary. Some even called it heretical.
The researcher who cracked this, Stanley Prusiner, gave this agent a name, a prion. It's short for proteinaceous, infectious-only particle. And here is the absolute key. A prion is just a protein. It's not a living thing, but a single molecule that is folded into the wrong shape. A true rogue agent.
And right here, we can see the entire problem in a single image. On the left, that's the normal, healthy prion protein. It's a standard part of any healthy brain. But on the right, that's its evil twin, the rogue, infectious form. It's the exact same chain of amino acids, but it has twisted itself into this dangerous and infectious shape.
So how does this actually cause disease? It's a chain reaction, and it's terrifyingly simple. A single rogue prion bumps into a healthy one, and that contact forces the healthy protein to change its shape, converting it into another rogue. So now there are 2, then 4, then 8. It's a molecular domino effect that just spreads through the brain, creating these clumps of useless, misfolded proteins that kill brain cells, and that's what leaves those holes we saw earlier.
Now this sounds completely unstoppable, but our bodies aren't defenseless. In fact, our cells have an incredibly sophisticated security system designed to prevent exactly this kind of molecular chaos. So, let's meet the body's guardians. You see, every single protein in your body faces one of 2 fates. If it folds correctly, great. It carries out its function, contributes to a healthy cell. But if it misfolds, it can clump together, lose its function, and cause disease. So our cells have evolved these amazing guardians to make sure proteins choose the right path.
They're called molecular chaperones. These are specialized proteins whose entire job is to supervise other proteins. They'll grab onto partially folded or improperly folded protein chains and guide them toward their correct final shape. You can basically think of them as the cell's quality control department.
So our first line of defense is a family of chaperones called HSP70. They're kind of like the cell's molecular bodyguards. When a new protein is being made, or an old one gets damaged by stress, like heat, these chaperones rush in. They bind to the vulnerable parts of the protein, shielding them and preventing them from sticking together in dangerous clumps. They even use the cell's energy currency, ATP, to grab on and let go until the target is safely folded.
But sometimes, a simple bodyguard isn't enough. For the really tough folding jobs, the cell brings out its heavy machinery. It's a dedicated, isolated environment for proteins that just can't seem to get it right on their own.
This incredible molecular machine is called a chaperone. It's this elaborate complex made of multiple protein subunits, all forming a kind of barrel structure.
It's truly one of the cell's master folders. And this cutaway view reveals the chaperone's secret weapon. It's not just a bodyguard, it's a private isolation chamber. This structure provides a safe microenvironment where a single protein can fold without any outside interference. It's basically the ultimate protected space for getting your shape just right. The whole process is just incredibly elegant. An unfolded protein enters one of the open pockets. Then a protein lid comes on top, sealing it inside. And in the quiet solitude of that chamber, the protein has the space to find its lowest energy, correct conformation. Once the job's done, the lid pops off, and a perfectly folded, functional protein is released back into the cell. Pretty amazing. So, from rogue prions to these intricate molecular machines, this entire story reveals one fundamental principle of biology. Shape is everything.
And Nate, this isn't just about rare brain diseases. The failure to fold correctly is really at the heart of many common human ailments. A specific mutation in cystic fibrosis causes a crucial protein to misfold. A lot of diseases related to collagen, which is the most abundant protein in our body, are also caused by defects in folding.
So here's the crucial takeaway. A protein's shape determines its function. A protein is just a string of chemicals until it folds into a precise three-dimensional structure. That structure is what allows it to do its job. Change the shape and you can destroy its function. Or, as we've seen, you can create a monster. In biology, shape truly is everything.
Which leaves us with a final and pretty tantalizing question. Prion showed us the deadly consequences of misfolding, but the chaperones revealed the body's elegant solution. So if we can fully understand this constant battle between order and chaos, the secret of the fold, could we design therapies to win the war against not just prion diseases, but so many others? The answer, it seems, is just waiting to be unfolded.